Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. I'm going to try to sneak in a video here before the sun comes shining through, but it's a beautiful summer day. Summertime is the time for travel, and I love traveling. As you all know, I take you on my journeys quite often, and I wanted to share with you though some boomer trends, some travel trends that are making a comeback. Now, as a boomer, if you want to use that expression, a woman over 60 or a guy, you're traveling, it takes on a different kind of significance because you're doing the things that you've always wanted to do. They're kind of the, well, let's say the bucket list things that you've got a list a mile long, and where do you start? But there are some definite trends that I think are of interest that are, that have been talked about, and maybe you can relate, and maybe there's something here that you'd like to do. So I bet, by the way, I'm big on experiences, not necessarily places, but I do love to go to different cities. There's something for me about landing in a new city and not knowing, having a clue where I am, and just wandering about. That's for me, my idea, but you might like something a little bit more structured. So let's talk about some of the ones, and some of these are going to be totally out of your realm of possibility. They are out of mine, but hey, that's what fantasy and sort of desires are all about. But this is what the ones that and I don't even know where I got this. I think I put this list together from a number of different places. But first one that, love to do this one, is the luxurious train journeys. And I love trains. So there's the Orient Express, London to Istanbul, very classic, expensive. Belmont, I think, is the company that does that trip. But you can do the same trip on a train, same route. But the Orient Express is an experience. Luxurious decor, comfortable sleeping situation. But yeah, beautiful. There's also the Rocky Mountaineer, which is in Canada, which is apparently one that a lot of people love, and also the Palace on Wheels in Rajasthan in India. I actually signed up for that one day, and then there was an earthquake, and I didn't. I had to cancel. But anyway, that was a possible lifetime thing. But there's lots of beautiful trains. The Royal Scotsman is another one in the Scottish Highlands. I'm actually going on the Caledonian Express, which is another beautiful train journey from London to Edinburgh in a few weeks, and I've done that several times. And there's affordable ways to do train journeys, but the luxurious train journeys, definite bucket list. The next thing is cruise vacations. Now, I'm a big cruiser, as you know, and I'm a budget cruise traveler. So I always look for the inside cabins and the very opposite of what you might consider luxury. But look, if you're on a ship that's designed for people who are traveling luxuriously, there's luxurious quotes things to do. Great food, great little, beautiful decks and places to relax in the sun, swimming pools, hot tubs. These are luxuries to me. These are just incredible. But so cruising, even at a budget level, I think is okay. I hope the sun's not going to come shining through too much here. But anyway, so there's a resurgence of world cruises. Basically, you can't even get on a world cruise anymore. If you go, when they announce them, they're like already full. World cruises are a huge trend. And as I said, they're always full. So if you're interested, make sure that you do some research, use a travel agent, jump in there and be wealthy because they're like, $30,000, $40,000 for a trip. But, hey. Extended vacations. These are the ones where you're staying in cities for weeks or months. Now, when I was, I still do this. I travel, I go to Portugal. I stay in Porto for 3 days. I maybe go to Lisbon 3 days. But some people, the trend is now to just, leave your home, especially if you're in a place where you don't like the weather in a certain season. You can go to a place where it's the opposite and stay for a month. And these long staycations, these long vacations, extended, are really popular. Gives you a chance to immerse in the culture, to experience the food and the people, and really just learn about a place from being almost a resident, but not really. But a month or two in a place can be so beautiful, and a lot of people are doing that. Another thing is heritage journeys. And these are journeys where you're going back to places where you're discovering your family, your roots, your people that you care about, and also where there's historical significance. Now, you don't even need to leave the United States to have that experience in the States. There's a lot of amazing places with historical interest. And then, of course, if you do come to Europe, though, there's more years of established culture and civilization, you can actually see some incredible things. And some of my favorites in Switzerland, France, Germany are the medieval towns. towns that were built in the 1300s, the Middle Ages. And most of them, or many of them, are still preserved. They're just magical. So for me, that's kind of one of my trends. And that is a trend, this kind of idea of heritage, going back in time and going and visiting places that have a history. Another trend in travel is health and well-being travel. This is, all part of the focus on health and well-being as we get older, just wanting to do something more relaxing. I have a friend, Christine, who goes to Italy, to the thermal spa places. There's some towns that have hotels with the spas in them, or you can book a special program. In England, there's a lot too. In the UK, and I'm sure in the States too. I know in California, there's a lot of spa. I can't think of the names of them now, but I'm sure you'll fill me in, that do spa treatments and spa holidays. Beautiful. Bali. I went to Bali, I think 3 times now, and that's a beautiful place for a health and wellness retreat. Food is amazing, really healthy food, of course, if you choose, and also just lovely facilities where you can book a week or 2 of just immersion. In India, of course, the Ayurvedic traditions offer all kinds of beautiful treatments all over the country. So there's lots of wellness and spa retreats that you can take advantage of. Another thing that some people do are road trips. A friend of Terry is just going on a road trip. Hi, Terry, if you're watching. With her husband, they pack up the car and they just go on a road trip. And this is a huge trend for boomers now. Buying an RV, buying or renting one, Pacific Coast Highway, or even driving in Europe or along the Amalfi Coast. These are road trips of a lifetime. Really, really cool. So that's something that people are doing as a trend. Another thing is volunteer tourism. Now, this one's a little bit, in my mind, a little bit suspicious. I would check them out carefully because there are a lot of places that ask you to pay to go on a trip where you are volunteering. And I mean, there are some where you're volunteering, like the Peace Corps and others like that, long commitments. They're not really holidays, but and I'm sure that maybe people can recommend to me some that are volunteer for free and you get everything covered. But a lot of these volunteer tourism places have you pay for the experience, and sometimes it can be beautiful if it's a cause that you really believe in. So check that out. Then make sure you know all the details of the costs. Another one is bucket list adventures like the Northern Lights. Yes, Machu Picchu. The things that you just I want to see that in my life. That's important. I would say if you're interested in Northern Lights, just be prepared for a cold experience. They're only really visible. I know there's been some sunspot activity around the world where people recently in the summer have seen the Northern Lights. But the real Northern Lights, if you want just that Nordic experience, you have to go north in Norway and Scandinavia and go in the winter. I did my trip on Hurtigruten, which is a ferry cruise line. Very, very cool. And I'm just going to put my light on here. I don't know whether this is going to help. The light outside today is really, really crazy. Is that turning up too much light? Maybe not. So the other one is other bucket list. Let me just list them. Eco-conscious travel. This is where you're doing sustainable conservation focused tours. I know there's like places in New Zealand and other endangered parts of the world that, are doing eco-conscious travel. I did something similar in New Zealand many years ago and stayed at sustainable retreats, and really, really beautiful. But that kind of focus on sustainability is another trend in the boomer travel world. Another is just doing a digital detox. Just going somewhere where there's like no computers, no technology, where you can just do what you want. And digital detox is going to Bali, going to the Scottish Highlands. You can create your own digital detox bucket list holiday. Very, very easy. Culinary tourism is another one. Very, very popular, where you can go and do wine tasting, and Airbnb, for example, offers all kinds of little programs you can do virtually too. I did a Jaipur, India online cooking class, which was super cool. But that's another big trend. Educational travel in general, participating in geological digs, learning about new culture, attending art history tours in Italy. One second. India, other places. I went on a tour of India, textiles tour. so cultural, educational learning, where you're going to learn something, how to do block printing, how to do a skill that you've always wanted, but traveling to get the knowledge. Solo travel, of course, I don't need to say, is the big trend. It's huge. Home exchanges and sort of multi-generational travel are another thing. And of course, just staying home. Local tourism. Most places now are, welcoming tourists. And so you can be a tourist for a day in your own town, even if you have none of this money or wealth or abundance to travel. And I'm conscious every time I do a video like this, that there will be a lot of people that say, Margaret, I don't have the money. Can't do it. It's just not in my budget or in my world right now. But there are a lot of places you can see right in your own hometown, maybe a village or town away. Maybe jump on a train or a bus if you haven't got a lot of money, don't have a car like me, and just make the best of it. So what trends have you noticed in the older demographic, and what ones have you taken advantage of? Share your experience with any of the ones that I've talked about here, any of the categories. I would genuinely love to know, give myself some ideas. So have a great day, everybody. Go out in the world and travel to your heart's content. Tell us what kind of trends you've been noticing in others or in yourself, and just stay safe and well in the world. It's a beautiful planet that we're blessed to have a chance to live on. So just take care of yourself. Enjoy it all. Lots of love.